This is one of the hardest videos I've ever made, because today we're not just talking about a researcher. We're talking about a man who inspired millions, a man who dedicated his life to uncovering hidden truths, a man who is maybe no longer with us. Reports have emerged that David Wilcock has passed away at the age of just 53. And if this is true, this is not just a loss, it's a shock. According to initial information, authorities responded to a 911 call on April 20, 2026. Now, this happened near Ridge Road in Colorado. The cops arrived, and within minutes, a man reportedly used a weapon on himself. The case was recorded, closed, simple, but is it really that simple? Because those who follow David Wilcock closely know something very important. He had repeatedly said, "I would never take my own life." Not once, but multiple times, and that's where the questions begin. David Wilcock was not just another author. He was deeply involved in topics like UFOs, extraterrestrial contact, ancient civilizations. He appeared on shows like Ancient Aliens multiple times. Sometimes I appeared on the same episodes with him on Ancient Aliens and History Channel. And he built a massive following. And there is a pattern developing, right? Because I don't post obituaries on my platforms, but something strange is developing. Eric Von Daniken, gone. Nick Pope, gone just 2 weeks ago. Now, there are 11 scientists already gone or disappeared recently. They were all involved in high-level space and nuclear research. Now, this is the latest news from Fox News. David Wilcock was not a scientist, but he was working on anti-gravity technology. And some even believed he was in telepathic contact with higher beings. Now, agree or disagree, there is one thing you cannot deny. He had influence. Now, here's something that makes the situation even more unsettling. In his recent appearances, David spoke about his health. He mentioned blurry vision, nervous system issues, low energy, tingling sensations. He even said, "This doesn't feel like aging. Something is different." And then this has happened. For almost a year, David put no videos on YouTube, even though he had 500,000 subscribers. He only did live sessions. And just 2 days before this news, he went live again. And he did not show any signs of taking his own life. He was talking about politics. He was talking about Donald Trump. He was talking about UFO disclosure. And in the video before, he was talking about crop circles and global issues. Now, if you look at these videos, you cannot help but wonder, does that sound like someone preparing to end their life? Or someone still engaged, still fighting, still speaking? Now, here's where things become even more complicated. People close to him have spoken about cyberbullying, harassment, legal pressure, constant attacks. There are even claims that authorities were contacted multiple times, but no strong action was taken. And then there are other claims that may or may not be true. Claims of being targeted, being silenced, even slow poisoning. Now, these are serious claims, and right now, they remain unverified. But when you combine everything together, a pattern begins to form. A man researching controversial topics, a man claiming access to hidden knowledge, a man under pressure, a man with declining health, and suddenly he's gone. Now, even more strange, there's very little mainstream media coverage, almost nothing. A person who appeared on global shows, wrote books, produced documentaries, and yet, silence? I just saw one statement from X, from Representative Anna Paulina Luna. She expressed condolences, praying for his family and acknowledging the millions he impacted. But still, no deep investigation coverage, no major headlines, no detailed breakdown of what really happened. Why? Let's be clear, this video is not making conclusions, and this video is not about spreading misinformation. But this is about asking questions, because when something doesn't feel right, you don't ignore it. You observe, you question, you seek truth. And right now, there are too many unanswered questions. Where is the recording of the full 911 call? Where is the dash cam or body cam footage? Why is there no visual confirmation? We don't see one picture or video about David Wilcock's passing. We don't see anything at all. And perhaps the biggest question of all, why did a man who said he would never take his own life end up being reported that way? Was it exactly what it seems? Or is there more beneath the surface? History has shown us that researchers exploring controversial ideas often face intense resistance, sometimes ridicule, sometimes pressure, and sometimes something worse. Again, we're not concluding anything, but we're not blindly accepting everything either, because truth requires courage. Today, we remember David Wilcock, not just as a researcher, but as a human being, a man who believed humanity could evolve, a man who believed we are more than just physical bodies, a man who believed we are light beings. Whether you agreed with him or not, he made people think, he made people question, he made people look beyond the obvious. And maybe that's why his story should not end in silence. If you're a fan of David Wilcock, if his work impacted you, then the best thing you can do right now is simple. Keep asking questions. I don't normally make videos about things like this. I make videos only about ancient temples. But I'm making a video because I want to keep asking questions about this. Because truth does not fear questions. Rest in peace, David. You will be missed, and your story is not over yet.